Hey everybody, this is Jeff here once again, Unique Model Creations. Just doing a little brief update here on the progress of the 1350 Polar Lights Round 2 USS Enterprise NCC-1701. It has been going on forever and a day. Oh my goodness. But it continues to go on and stuff. Um, but as I mentioned before, what I was going to get started working on would be the decal set to come with the model that goes all the way around. As you can see here we go. The instructions. Decals are actually sitting up there on top of the printer right about now. Try to keep them up and out of the way. Um, don't really have room for the model box to keep putting them in and out of whenever I'm doing it. And I'm not going up and down to the attic every time I want to go and do something like this because you may get two or three in, and then something come up and you have to put it back up again. Um, but anyway, going on. This has been rather interesting. It is rather fun and neat when you're wanting to get the whole pattern on, but it wasn't fixing to go through doing the stencils and stuff, which was my original plan. But sometimes funding gets a little cut short, and some things have to go out the window. However, fortunately, this model comes with this decal set. It covers the entire ship. I'm not going to say that it's 100% coverable because there are some areas where it does not. Like right back here at the back of the saucer, the back of the dorsal, since I do have that flat white paint on here, you can see the difference because the decals have a gloss to them and stuff. Even after they've set, using those two products right there, Microsol Microset, I wouldn't do it without it. Um, but even after that, and it's sets and it starts dying down some, there's still a there's still a tonal difference. There is that you can see here, like these three squares right here, which I've left to do for this side before going underneath down here. These three right here, you can see that difference between that flat paint that I have, which I like a flat look on the ship, versus this glossiness from the decals. Now, I will be going back behind and trying to tone it down some a bit with either some dull coat or frost or something to take this edge off because I'm not really a glossy model person. I kind of like the dull look and makes it feel more like it actually would be out there in space versus really, 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 really glossy. Even though this ship in its 8 foot form for the motion picture was really, 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 really glossy and all in all downright gorgeous. But I kind of like more of a tone down, more of a it has a little bit maybe of a slight sheen to it, but not like it's been hit with like candy paint um, and then some McGuire's wax on it. So, but I said now I will point out some differences too. A lot of these instructions, if you ever watched Heli Pilot build of this kit, he did the decals as well. And he mentioned this. Some of them are just off. The directions are off. The pictures are accurate, but the numbers are off. And some of them you're getting from the other side. Some of them maybe flip flop. Like if I'm looking at this side right here, and you've got that decal aiming to go down here, and that one up here. Well, if at the you look at the line right here, you look at that panel line. It's even right here in the instructions too. You can just look at it and tell. It's like, well, that little that indentation right there going down, that matches the bottom. So you have to get the one from the other side. You have to get the one from the other side top to put down here on this side bottom. So it's like you're flipping them around. That right there is one of the main ones that I've noticed that's just off that much. Having to steal from the port side to bring over to the starboard side and then reverse it and have it down low versus up high. Um, it's just it's catching little things like that. But as Haley probably said, and I'm saying too, if you look at the pictures and the way that it's supposed to go, now of course, like I said, these images right here are just those are off too. Those pictures right there, they're off. So definitely the numbers are off. But if you just look at the shape of the panel itself, most of them curve enough or have something going a certain way about it to where you can look and say, well, hey, this one right here really don't need to go. It's just a matter of taking your time. But taking your time, it will come out rather nice. But like I say, though, it is nice. It gives you what you're looking for. Now, these are the blue ones. The ship became blue in Star Trek 4, 5, and 6. It was green in 1, 2, and 3, even though it looks a little, even though in some shots it looks like it's more just gray, but it has a greenish hue to it. But 4, 5, and 6, you can see that blue, definitely more so in Star Trek 6, with some of those slow pans and stuff when they're at the Battle of Kittimer. But all in all, too, it still looks awesome. It gives you the pattern. That is a nice little complex pattern going on right there too. I just love all of the little intricacies of this ship. I mean, it's this is my favorite Enterprise of all of them. And back growing up when I was a kid looking at it, I'm just thinking, okay, big white ship is gorgeous. I love the shape, I love the look, I love the interior as well as the exterior. I love the way that they filmed the model itself. I love, all the slow passes that they did. It, the Enterprise was one of the cast members, and it should have been not just their ship. It was one of the cast members that took. Um, I don't know if it still holds the record or not for being the most highly detailed sci-fi model ever utilized, and that was, you know, that's just great. That's what Star Trek does. Awesome. Um, but it was just beautiful. Then to have the model right here up in face, and looking at all the detail and stuff in just the strong backs alone, it's like, man, that takes time. Even though it was a big 8 foot versus like if I was trying to paint this at 3 feet, it's still a lot. And you're just thinking, well, how much more can you get in? I mean, even these little raised square margins right here, there's a little red line that goes right beside each one of them, a little red mark that goes beside each and every one of them. Um, it's just so much. There are hundreds of decals that go all over the ship, and I'm not even talking about the panel decal. This right here really could go relatively quickly. If you're taking your time, you're doing it. Like for instance, next up, I plan on getting these three, then going over to the other side. May get around the deflector dish down here, and then afterwards start hitting up these nacelles real quick because there are a lot of long decals they have. Well, a few long decals they have going on here, which you have to cut into sections. Always, this would be a smart deal to cut this into sections. I was able to manage a couple of them with applying them at length from the sheet, but it makes it a little bit easier just making sure that you cut it in an area where it's going to be really easy to match up and stuff. So you can't just go slice and dice however the katana falls on it. um, Cutting it in a zone where you want it to, where it's easy to match up, makes it a lot easier. You slap the other ones on, and then, like for instance, for me, working with the nacelles, even with working, wherever I was at, I would do one bit, and since I'm, with the microsol and microset, well, I wanted to set. I want to settle on there and stuff, and then start dissolving onto the, into the paintwork, give it its time. So instead of me sitting up there working piece by piece, piece by piece, right beside each other, I would do, one or maybe two on one side, and then flop over to the other one, and start working on the other side, and give this time to dry. Plan on doing the same thing with the nacelles. Do a little bit on the nacelle, then cross over, then do a little bit on the other side, so that just in case I'm sitting up there with the paintbrush and I'm making my application with the with the microsol, the microset, I don't accidentally scrape up on something else and pull off a decal that is on it, because these are still decals. And even though you've applied your microsol and microset, and I'm generous with the amount that I put on there, might be a little too much, but hey, that's okay, so long as I don't scrape it off. And once I put that coating over it and stuff to keep them where they're supposed to be at, that's gonna be fine. Notice the difference. So, but still, they're decals, and right now in this stage, when they can be scrape up, they can be scratched, they can be broken, they can be torn, they can be ripped. I like to, during the application part of it, avoid that by alternating my sides and stuff. So, and then whenever I do get to the saucer area, I do still have that little bit of painting I've got to do. Um, and working to get my area set up right about now, I was able to get my table upstairs and trying to work a way to keep it cool up there. We're starting to get into the summer. You look out these windows, we see the leaves and the grass and everything. Um, Let me tell you, it gets hot. You're in an attic. There's no AC up there. There's no, and you don't blow a fan in an enclosed area with a lot of hot air. You're doing nothing but blowing hot air. Um, it gets warm. It gets hot. So if I run the ACs and have the ladder open going upstairs, kind of run the experiment right now. Actually, I've got the bedroom air conditioners going and letting the air go upstairs. There's no central heat and air in this home, in this house, unfortunately. Um, but with all the tree cover and stuff, it actually stays relatively cool on one side of the home, on the north side. On the south side over here, where the living kitchen dining area is at, that's directly in the sunlight. Now for wintertime, that's beautiful because it stays warm. The sun is hitting it the whole day, and it stays warm in here, so we don't have to run any heat during the day, which is glorious. So, and hopefully don't have to run very much air during the day on the opposite side, on your living side, on your sleeping side, your bedrooms and the bathroom. Don't have to run so much air, but trying to let some air go upstairs and see if that may cool it down some, so I may be able to go during the day to get some work done. So, because I'd love to have this just out. If it does work, this will be going upstairs, and my videos from here on out will be coming from that area. I'm starting to work to get some lighting and everything up there. Um, as a matter of fact, let's take a little trip. Let's just take a little trip. So, that is the chair. Excuse me. I love that chair, by the way. Yeah, most of my time spent. But let me see here. Going upstairs. Oh, ladders, ladders. Now, mind the junk. This is still an attic, and it was a spillover from everything. But there we go. There's my table. Here are the legs. And here are a couple more tables. Now, these are a couple of coffee tables, and that was actually our dining room table. If you remember that table from all those other videos that I shot, especially with the 350 TOS Enterprise, that's the table. But we got another dining table downstairs, so I brought that one upstairs, and it's going back to the job that it was doing before, and that's helping me build models. So, and as you can see, we got a little stack right there. Um, the 1350 TOS that I have, I got another one. It's downstairs. Start doing something with the Bazaar collectors, experimenting and stuff. I start my experimentation, so when I get to the build process, I can just go forth and carry all the ideas that I experimented with and put them right into the ship and go on with it. So then these coffee tables, end tables, we're not using them downstairs. They've been beat up, banged up and stuff, and they're fixing to get put to use up here with more model building and stuff. And I'm actually liking this too because I always wanted something with a light bay on it so that while I'm building, I can, put it underneath bright light with some magnification or something, so that I can take a look and see. Not necessarily looking for perfection because I'm building with these things and they are not perfect because they're part of a human. No humans are perfect. So, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna be working with over there in that area is gonna be more of my build space. I was looking, I might bring it more towards down here. Um, may bring it more towards down here to see and shove a lot of that mess down there, kind of out the way, uh, and work on starting to get stuff set up. Plus, that's where the main overhead light is right now. Well, the only overhead light that's up here that's actually wired uh, into the home. The rest of them would just be what I bring, and a lot of it would be LEDs. But it'd be some cool lighting that'd be going on, and use the rafters for something. We just have those ideas; they'll be churning. But as it comes along too, that will be shown too. And then once I have my sturdy space, which probably will be sometime mid towards end of summer, I'm in no hurry. Then we'll be looking to capitalize on it and go forth and continue building. as I like to say. So, those of you out there building, y'all continue to build on. I am going to continue on. Matter of fact, I've got something else that I'm going to be showing here, relatively soon. With another project that I've been working on. That is there's 148 scale C-130 Hercules for my brother. He's been wanting one for a long time. I found a large scale, um, and I am putting that puppy together. Old Tester's model. Man, wonderful kit. I love it. Simple but complicated at the same time. So, but I'll be showing that here after a while. Again, this is Jeff Gaskin with Unique Model Creations, taking a look at all my mess. But out of the junk comes comes art. I don't know how that works. Something like that, yeah. I'll talk to y'all later. Enjoy. Oh, and to the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Don't forget.